Right now at 5, Joplin police respond to the Olive Garden after reports of a man with a gun causing a disturbance.
We have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible this afternoon and evening. Dense fog advisories for the morning. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, animal advocates in Southeast Kansas held their annual Cinco de Mayo event to help benefit their mission.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Amber Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we are entering now our second week with severe threats possible during the week since this all began not last Friday, but the Friday before that when we had 2 days straight of severe weather with tornadoes across parts of southeastern Kansas. And we're not quite done with the risk for strong to severe thunderstorms as of yet. Let's start with a look outside with the fog. We have to get through this first this morning. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. Take a look at that dense fog out there. We've got dense fog advisories. The MoDOT camera from 7th and Garden Grove, zero visibility on it, almost zero visibility from 7th and Rangeline. It's improved a little bit here on 20th Street, and the fog hasn't really thickened up that much to the south around 32nd Street, but still, dense fog, and right now it's hugging the Missouri-Kansas border, so 69, I-49, you've got to watch out for that dense fog out there. Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Carthage, Joplin, Nevada, all reporting reduced visibilities, and we do have dense fog advisories for all of southeastern Kansas and parts of southwestern Missouri until 9 a.m. And then for Oklahoma and Arkansas, these will run until 8 o'clock this morning. So dense fog will still be possible in areas where maybe it's clear right now, but it may not stay that way. And then on top of that, we have that possibility of severe thunderstorms later this afternoon and evening. Unfortunately, and again into southeastern Kansas, we do have that moderate risk for tornadoes by this afternoon and evening out there, and these hatch marks indicating the possibility of significant tornadoes, so EF2 or greater in strength. We have a low to elevated hail risk with parts of our area getting in on the possibility of significant hail, and then the other concern is going to be with a potential second round of severe thunderstorms. We have an enhanced wind risk across the majority of the area, and these hatch marks indicating winds that could be 70 miles an hour or greater as we're expecting a squall line. So we could see pop-up storms this afternoon, early evening, that will come with all hazards out there. And then by this evening, we're expecting a squall line to roll through the area, bringing those damaging wind gusts. So we're going to talk about all that in detail with the full forecast here in just a moment. But to get you out the door, foggy conditions across the area, 59, Joplin and Pittsburgh. Temperatures out there cool, but again, not too bad. Upper 50s and low 60s as we get our day underway. Kids getting on the bus, going to have to contend with some patchy fog, 61, calm winds, and otherwise mostly cloudy skies. By this afternoon, a stray shower or storm, breezy, south winds gusting to 25, sitting right around 77. We're looking at highs today into the upper 70s, pushing close to 80, and as we head into the afternoon, we'll have those wind gusts. We'll also have isolated showers and thunderstorms, and again, some of those storms could be strong to severe ahead of the main line expected later tonight. We're going to again go into detail on all of this in your full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and Asbury Fire Department responded to a car crashed in between 2 trains late Friday night. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and Asbury Fire Department responded to a car crashed in between 2 trains late Friday night. It looked almost as unbelievable as it sounds. A passenger car struck a slow-moving train. As it was disabled, the driver got out as another train on an adjacent track was coming the other way. The car was smashed in between the 2 trains. Amazingly, though, the driver had minor injuries. It took a period of hours to separate the wreckage and inspect the trains and track before it was cleared. Troopers on the scene told us that they were investigating a DWI crash. The crossing in which the incident took place does not have arms or lights and was also the same place where a fatal crash took place in 2018. Just a few hours before the accident in Asbury, first responders in Neosho responded to a car crash of a car traveling at excessive speeds. The vehicle was traveling east on Irish Road and could not navigate the turn to NN. It flipped an unknown amount of times. The 4 occupants were all from Nebraska. 2 of them were ejected. All of the occupants suffered injuries and were transported to Mercy Hospital in Joplin and Freeman West in Joplin. Witnesses say the car was traveling over 100 miles per hour. The Joplin police respond to the Olive Garden after reports of a man with a gun causing a disturbance. According to Captain Trevor Duncan of the Joplin Police Department, a call came in just after the noon hour on Sunday of witnesses saying a man was causing a disturbance in the restaurant. Conflicting reports said the man had a gun, or rather he displayed it. By the time police arrived, the male and his party were no longer on the scene. The man was not located and his identity is still unknown. No reports of injuries or arrests were made as of 1:05 p.m. Business is back to normal at the restaurant. Captain Duncan says if anyone has any information, contact the JPD non-emergency line. If you're ever on the go and still want to be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM News Plus app. It's available free of charge on any app store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. Animal Advocates is an organization in Southeast Kansas responsible for rescuing over 700 animals last year. Officials say the organization was responsible for rescuing 1/3 of the dogs that ended up at a Pittsburgh kill shelter. Sunday, the organization held a fundraiser to help benefit their mission.
What the community should understand from our event is that we are in the area. We do need financial help in a variety of different ways so that we can meet our goals, and that there are some resources out there that maybe they haven't seen in the past.
Those who attended had live music, musical bingo, door prizes, and more. As we enter warmer weather, many people find themselves spending more time outdoors and especially on bikes. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how the Joplin Police Department is helping riders stay safe on the roads.
Like many kids, Grayson Wimsett loves riding his bike. So much so that he's ridden it to school every day this year.
I just like the freedom of being to move around wherever you want.
But Grayson also knows that there are steps kids like him have to take to be safe on the road, such as wearing a helmet.
So everybody can have an enjoyable time on a bike.
For the first time, the Joplin Police Department held a bike safety event where families could come and learn how to try to stay safe on the road.
You know, bicycle safety is huge in the warmer months because there's so many things that we have to be prepared for, such as cars or abrupt stops or anything that we might have to navigate around while riding the bikes. And as families start to get educated on different safety aspects, we can hopefully ensure that we've got safe riders on the roadways.
The event featured helmet giveaways and an obstacle course for riders to learn how to make difficult turns and follow a path. Several local organizations also joined in the event to help promote safety on the road. Blues Bike Company helped by performing safety checks on bikes to make sure they were safe to ride.
It makes you feel awesome, knowing that you're setting them up for success and pushing them in the right direction to be thoughtful about safety.
And even some of the young but experienced riders are happy to give advice to the next generation of bike riders as they take to the streets.
Wear a helmet and don't do wheelies. Because if you do a wheelie in the 5-year-old age, yeah. I already did a wheelie once, but not safe. Not safe. I almost fell over.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Joplin Police Department also encourages drivers to be road aware as the amounts of bikers increase in the summer months. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Kansas City Royals enter Sunday afternoon only a game and a half out of first place. Can they keep this up? Plus, the actor Bernard Hill, best known for his roles in the Lord of the Rings and Titanic, has died at age 79. And we're tracking thunderstorms for tonight. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Discovering the perfect paint for your home.
Well, the MIAA wraps up their outdoor track and field championships from Maryville over the weekend. Coming into Sunday, both Missouri Southern and Pitt State ranking in the top 3 for men's and women's events. Checking in on the men's final results, Missouri Southern led on Saturday, but Pitt State surges up to first place on Sunday. Gorillas are the MIAA champions for the 4th straight season. It's their 3rd under head coach Kyle Rutledge. Missouri Southern puts on a great showing over the weekend as the Lions finish in 2nd place. Over to the women's side, it wasn't that close last weekend as Pitt State blew the competition out of the water. 212.5 total points at the MIAA championships, which is the most by any team since 1999. Pitt State women are MIAA champs for the 2nd time in 3 seasons. Northwest Missouri State finishes in 2nd place, Washburn at 3rd, and rounding out the top 4 is Missouri Southern. The Kansas City Royals enter Sunday afternoon, only a game and a half out of first place in the American League Central standings. The Royals have a shot to win the 3-game series against Texas. Defending World Series champs are in town. Royals versus Rangers. Vinny Pasquantino gets things started as he doubles down the line. A run scores, and the Royals lead 2-0 in the 3rd inning. On the mound for Kansas City was Daniel Lynch, and he was terrific. He strikes out 2 hitters in the 4th. Lynch finishes with 6 strikeouts in 5 scoreless. Royals lead 2-1 going into the 9th inning. Jonah Heim hooks this ball fair off the foul pole, and it's a solo home run to tie the game. Take another look. That ball stays fair, so we're going to end up heading to extra innings. Into the 10th now. We're tied 2-2. Nate Lowe going to hit an RBI single, and Texas takes the lead. They hold on the rest of the way as the Rangers beat the Royals 3-2. In Busch Stadium, the Cardinals are hosting the White Sox. 3rd inning, St. Louis is down by 1. Wilson Contreras goes the distance to dead center. That solo homer ties the game. It's 1-1. Still tied with the same score going into the 7th. Eloy Jimenez takes his shot at center field, and that ball lands in the bleachers. The White Sox take a 2-1 lead. Later in the inning, Chicago adding more offense as the former Cardinal Paul DeYoung keeps this ball fair down the line. White Sox lead 3-1. So we go a few batters later. Braden Shoemake somehow puts this ball in play, and it is an RBI single. Chicago goes on to win the game 5-1. The White Sox take the series. In NASCAR, they're at the Kansas Speedway for the Advent Health 400. They come down to the stretch on the final lap, and look at Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher bumping into each other as they cross the checkered flag. It's too close to call. Buescher thinks he won, but look at the replay. You can't get much closer than this. It's a photo finish, and it's determined that Kyle Larson wins at Kansas by just inches. Well, still to come, a U.S. dairy farmer who caught bird flu appears to be the first known instance of mammal-to-human transmission of the virus. Plus, we have another round of severe weather rolling into the area, plus dense fog to start your day. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
From the moment you call until you...
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 now on this Monday morning. It is an alert day here in the 4 states as we are watching the potential for severe thunderstorms later this afternoon and then again late this evening. But we've got to get through this morning. We have dense fog across the area. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. MoDOT cameras around the metro area. As you can see, we've got reduced visibilities on just about every single one of them out there. And this is the KDOT camera on 69 south of Pittsburgh, and you can see that dense fog settling in. So remember, use your low beams, not your high beams. Reduce your speed and be prepared for this dense fog out there. Right now, it's really confined, just hugging the Missouri-Kansas border. So 69, I-49, you've got to be careful. Pittsburgh down to 0.6 of a mile visibility. Joplin at 0.7. Fort Scott just over a mile. Same in Carthage. We do have dense fog advisories across all of southeastern Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and a good chunk of southwest Missouri. Missouri and Kansas, these will run through 9. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they continue through 8. Then, we've got one, potentially 2 rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and into the evening. By this afternoon, pop-up thunderstorms are possible. Some of these could be severe and they could produce all hazards. We do have the moderate tornado risk across portions of southeastern Kansas, and these hash marks indicating where there could be a strong tornado. So we're talking EF2 or greater in strength is a possibility. We have a low to elevated hail risk, and we do have just a sliver of the area in the hatch marks for large hail. So we're talking 2 inches in diameter or larger. And then round 2, what we're thinking is going to be round 2 is a squall line late tonight that is going to push across the area, and that's why we have the enhanced wind risk with those hash marks indicating winds possible to be greater than 70 miles an hour. Then, today's not the only day. We have a low wind risk for tomorrow. This is mainly for any remnant thunderstorms from that squall line tomorrow morning. Wednesday, as you can see, it's a pretty tight squeeze on the low to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. By Wednesday, we've got a boundary setting up, a cold front triggering off storms Wednesday morning. They're going to fire up pretty quickly. They could pretty quickly become severe, but they're expected to push out of our area fairly quickly on Wednesday as well. So that's why the severe risk is so narrow across the area, as the greater threat should remain to our east, but we're still going to keep an eye on that. So heading into the afternoon, again, a couple of showers, pop-up thunderstorms possible across the area, and some of those could be strong, potentially severe, with all hazards possible. Then tonight, by about 7, 8 o'clock, we start to see this squall line rolling into the area. Here we are at 9. Take a look at the bowing shape on this thing. That's why wind is the primary concern with this squall line, but as you know, we could get what they call QLCS tornadoes, or basically little spin-ups if we get notches on the front end of this line that could produce some tornadoes out there. By 1 a.m., it is now sinking through southwestern Missouri. And then, as we had early morning Tuesday, it should be out of here, but again, a stray lingering storm will be possible. And then as we head into most of our Tuesday, it's looking pretty good. And then by Wednesday morning, around, say, 8, 9 o'clock, we'll have some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms firing up. Those could be strong, potentially severe. But again, they're expected to roll out of the area by the early afternoon hours. So we'll have a lot to keep an eye on over the next few days. So again, we have our alert day today. Highs today, upper 70s, near 80 tomorrow. Low 80s for us on our Wednesday. Not a bad Thursday. Couple of stray showers Friday. Our weekend, for the first time in a while, looking pretty good. We're going to be back into the mid 70s next week with more shower and thunderstorm chances. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Website for more details.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a U.S. dairy farmer who caught bird flu appears to be the first known instance of mammal to human transmission of the virus. The worker reported no contact with sick or dead birds, but he did have repeated close contact with dairy cows in Texas where there were infected herds. That's according to a letter on the case published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The man was treated with antiviral medication and never became seriously ill. Still, his case is shedding new light on the bird flu. It confirms humans can get the virus after contact with cows. And at the same time, it illustrates how hard it can be to track an outbreak like this, where a positive test could mean a farmer loses days of work and pay. There already been rumors of dairy workers who are sick but do not want to be tested. Long Beach, California is under a public health emergency. Tuberculosis is spreading in the community, but as Michelle Gunley reports, most residents aren't at risk.
Yeah, I'm concerned, of course. There is a breakout. It is the first I've heard about it, though.
Health officials in Long Beach say dozens of people have likely been exposed to tuberculosis, which is an infectious disease mainly spread through the air, through coughing and sneezing. Dr. Brian Lee is an emergency room physician at Providence St. Joseph Hospital in Orange.
It's troubling. It is a bit of a surprise, but outbreaks do happen with tuberculosis. It's usually geographically very contained. Like you were saying, it's usually a specific environment where many people are exposed to the source patient and then it gets transmitted.
The city's chief health officer said in a news release that the TB outbreak is at an unidentified single-room occupancy hotel. Quote, "The outbreak is currently isolated to a distinct population and the risk to the general public is low." The population at risk in this outbreak has significant barriers to care, including homelessness and housing insecurity, mental illness, substance use, and serious medical comorbidities. According to the health department, 14 cases have been identified, 9 people hospitalized, and there has been 1 death. An investigation has revealed that another 170 people are likely exposed.
Exposure is very different than infection, so most people with a good immune system with generally good health will clear infection before they even will clear the exposure and never get infected.
J.B. Tebow didn't know about the local health emergency.
Ooh, I think it's terrible because the people that are actually out here, a lot of them don't even know it, and I guess now it's spreading, and that's terrible.
What are authorities doing about it? I mean, it's Long Beach, city of Long Beach. I mean, I don't know.
There is a vaccine for TB, but it's not commonly given in the U.S. because the disease is uncommon here. Infected patients can be treated with antibiotics, but clearing the infection can often take months. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible this afternoon and evening. Dense fog as we start our day. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Team to get started today.
Right now at 5:30, Lamar residents host the 65th annual Truman Day birthday celebration.
We've got an alert day in place today. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible this afternoon and evening. All severe hazards possible. We'll talk a little bit about that and about this dense fog we're dealing with coming up.
Plus, pet lovers and owners went for a little run Saturday morning in Joplin as the 4th annual Fast and Furious run kicked off.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Amber Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we have an alert day today. We have the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms and potentially looking at 2 rounds of activity. One this afternoon into the early evening, and then another round, a squall line late this evening across the area, bringing us, unfortunately, all severe hazards out there. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that. Additionally, we've got dense fog this morning. You may have noticed that on your way in.
I did. It was really
Yeah, it's a little bit on the foggy side, so we're going to start with that. Quick look outside from MoDOT cameras around the metro area, and we will show you those. And there they are. And as you can see, we have reduced visibilities. The camera that is in the upper right of your screen, this one is 7th and Garden Grove in Duquesne, and you can see visibility is significantly reduced, but we still have reduced visibilities around the city. And this is a look at the fog tracker. Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Nevada, Stockton. This is where the densest fog is right along 69 and I-49 out there. And we still have dense fog advisories, though, across southeastern Kansas and most of southwest Missouri through 9 a.m. And in Oklahoma and Arkansas, they will continue through 8 a.m., so we're not quite done with the fog yet. Then we have the risk for severe weather. We do have that moderate risk for tornadoes, that hatch area indicating the potential for strong tornadoes. We have a low to elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk with those hatch marks indicating the possibility of winds greater than 70 miles an hour with the storms today. We're going to talk about that in detail with your full forecast in a moment. Right now, of course, foggy. Joplin, Pittsburgh sitting at 59. Temperatures around the area have been kind of just floating into the upper 50s and low 60s. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, not too bad. Foggy, mostly cloudy otherwise, calm winds 61, and when that bus brings them back home, 77, couple of stray showers or thunderstorms, breezy south winds out there gusting to 25. Well, more on your forecast. I'm talking about this severe threat and the potential 2 rounds of severe weather here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. The 65th annual Truman Day birthday celebration was held Saturday in Lamar, Missouri. The celebration honors former President Harry S. Truman, who was born in Lamar. His birthplace is now a historic site. Those who attended were able to visit a multitude of vendors as well as tour the house that President Truman was born in. Today's celebration also had live music, a reenactment put on by the Lamar High School theater program.
We're always every year trying to do something new to keep everybody coming back to the birthplace. Several times people will come just to see the house. They may have been here several times, but they just really like to step back in history in the 1880s and see what it was like to live during that time when the Trumans were here in Lamar.
The celebration was held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday and was free of charge for all those who attended. The Kentucky Derby found its way to Missouri Saturday. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri held its annual Kentucky Derby style fundraiser. Attendees chose to pony up for a good cause at the event, which featured simulated races and betting, as well as a live stream of the actual Derby. Guests were encouraged to dress up to the nines, but they could also build their own fancy accessories at the Churchill Crowns Hat Bar. Proceeds from the event supports the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, who is celebrating years of supporting area children and families this year. Pet lovers and owners went for a little run Saturday morning in Joplin as the 4th annual Fast and Furious Run kickoff. The 5K run kicked off at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. The fastest male and female dogs were both given awards, as well as the top 3 finishers overall and the fastest male and female human in each age group.
So this event is a great way to promote relationships with pets and their families. It also gives them an opportunity to get them out in the public so everybody can see what amazing pets that have not only come from the shelter but are in homes already.
There was also a 1-mile fuzzy run walk that kicked off at 9 a.m. for those just looking to get out and get moving. Sunday's rain didn't stop the North Heights Porch Fest teaser concert from happening. Organizers moved the concert from Landreth Park to Ozark Christian College because the show must go on. The event features live music played by several local artists. Today's event is called Swan Songs, a nod to the heading band called the Funkatori. The group is made of seniors at Ozark Christian College who are about to graduate. In today's concerts, one of the last times you can see them perform. The concert was free. North Heights Porch Fest welcomes donations. Pitt State held its very own Cinco de Mayo celebration at McCroy Hall. Attendees were able to enjoy the El Grotto food truck as well as a cup of street corn provided by the student organization Hispanics of Today. The musical group Hispanic Banda also performed. The group is comprised of Pitt State students, alumni, and community members, as well as a few Pittsburgh High School band students.
I feel like it's important to learn from other cultures as well. I feel like it's a big detail to the whole community because we are here, and I feel like it's great to celebrate even the smallest things in life, so that's what I believe.
The fiesta kicked off at 6 p.m. Sunday evening and ended at 8 p.m. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Pope Francis prays for peace in Ukraine and the Middle East during Sunday's prayer in Vatican City. Plus, a potential ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war is growing dim. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, actor Bernard Hill, best known for his roles in The Lord of the Rings and Titanic, has died at age 79. The actor's agent confirmed he died early Sunday. He was born in Manchester, England, to a family of miners and eventually found his way to drama school. Hill is best known for his role as the doomed ship's captain in the 1997 Oscar-winning film Titanic, as well as his role in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings series as Theoden, King of Rohan. He is expected to make an appearance at the Comic-Con in Liverpool Saturday, but canceled last minute. Hill is survived by his wife and son. The murder of 3 foreign surfers in Mexico sparks protests. The 3 surfers murdered in Mexico, Australian brothers Callum and Jake Robinson and American Jack Carter Rode, have now been identified by family members. Mexican authorities say the men were likely killed during a robbery attempt for their truck tires. Authorities say the men's bodies were then dumped in a remote well. Now, frustrated surfers have rallied to protest their deaths and push Mexican authorities for more safety while surfing, especially for unaccompanied women. Investigators found a fourth unidentified body that has been in the well for longer. 3 suspects are being held. Pope Francis prays for peace in Ukraine and in the Middle East during his Sunday prayer in the Vatican City, calling on the dialogue to be strengthened between the countries. He also prayed for those affected by the flooding in Brazil and shared his best wishes for members of the Eastern Catholic and Orthodox Church who celebrate Easter on Sunday. The Pope continues to urge leaders to work towards a ceasefire deal in the Israel-Hamas war. Ukrainians celebrate Orthodox Easter despite a wartime curfew. Ukrainians made their way to St. Michael's Cathedral in Kyiv late Saturday night to celebrate Orthodox Easter with a candlelight vigil. Those celebrate had to be cautious of the Russian wartime curfew that starts at midnight and ends at 5 in the morning. This is the 3rd year in a row that Ukrainians have rung in the Orthodox Easter amidst a full-scale Russian invasion. With outlooks on a potential ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war growing dim, Israeli Prime Minister is marking the country's Holocaust Remembrance Day with new calls that Israel is prepared to stand alone in its efforts to wipe out Hamas from the region. Ted Linders reports.
With the latest round of ceasefire talks in the Israel-Hamas war hitting roadblocks, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he won't fold to global calls to stop the fighting.
If Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone.
Netanyahu issuing those remarks while commemorating Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day, beginning Sunday night and going through Monday.
In the Holocaust, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against those who sought our destruction.
For many Holocaust survivors living in Israel, Hamas's deadly incursion on October 7th is a painful reminder of their past persecution and why it's critical for them to continue fighting for their future.
We will keep our tradition and we will keep our faith.
This comes as Prime Minister Netanyahu maintains Israel will press on with its mission to eliminate Hamas.
Countless decent people around the world support our just cause.
Israel's defense minister says Hamas is not serious about moving forward with hostage negotiations, with officials calling the terror group's demands for the IDF to withdraw from Gaza and for an end to the war as extreme. IDF officials continue warning a looming ground invasion into the southern Gaza city of Rafah is likely to take place in the near future. Netanyahu calls Rafah the last remaining Hamas stronghold in the region. It's also where tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians are sheltering from the war.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Life's better when you're under the American family.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 546 on this Monday morning. It is an alert day here in the 4 states as we're watching that potential for strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. MoDOT cameras around the area, we're starting to see some improvement out there. We actually see the traffic lights here from 7th and Garden Grove. Again, visibility is improving slightly, and this should be the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th. I assure you, there we are. It's not so foggy that it turned black outside, but still dealing with dense fog in southeastern Kansas. The densest fog again holding on to the Missouri-Kansas border. Fort Scott down to 0.2 of a mile of visibility. Pittsburgh, Carthage, Nevada, Joplin, I-49 and US 69. You've got to slow down, keep your low beams on, not your high beams, as this is where, at least for now, the densest fog is, but we still have dense fog advisories. All of Kansas, most of Missouri through 9 this morning. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they will run until 8 this morning. Then, the reason for our alert day is this. We have a moderate risk for tornadoes across portions of southeastern Kansas, and that hatched area indicating where we could see the possibility of strong tornadoes. So we're talking EF2 or greater. That is a possibility out there, and we have the elevated risk for the rest of the area in the Missouri and Arkansas. We have a low to elevated hail risk, but just a small area of that hatched area for large hails. That'd be 2 inches in diameter or larger. And then for the wind, this is where the secondary round of storms looks to be another problem, is wind. We have an enhanced risk across most of the area. We have those hash marks across most of the area, meaning that we could see winds greater than 70 miles an hour. It means it's a possibility out there. And then As we head into our Tuesday, we do have a low-end risk for us, but this is mainly for some lingering possible storms. There might be a little redevelopment behind this squall line we're expecting tonight, and we could see a couple of strong storms. Otherwise, most of our Tuesday, once we get past the morning, looks pretty good. Wednesday, we've got an enhanced risk out there, but look at how small these zones are. That is because this cold front is expected to fire off storms late Wednesday morning into the early afternoon. They'll fire up quickly. They could become severe quickly, but they're also expected to begin to exit our area rather quickly. But we do have that risk for strong, severe thunderstorms. So let's take a look at all of that. As we head into the afternoon, again, some isolated showers or thunderstorms will be possible. If we get some of these, that's kind of where the round one comes in, where we could see some of those storms be strong to severe with all hazards possible, especially since they'll be isolated. They'll be able to feed a little more off of some of the energy around the area. Then by about 7 and 8 o'clock, we see this squall line start to roll in. This is round two. This is the other round where not only could we see the damaging wind gusts, but we could see those spin-up tornadoes on the front edge of this squall line as it rolls through the area. So all hazards will be possible with this, but again, the greater concern is going to be the damaging wind gusts, because take a look at the Boeing shape on this thing as we roll through the night, and it is expected to remain severe as we go through the night. This one not expected to weaken as it pushes across the area, so we'll be dealing with that severe threat as we go into the overnight. So now at 1 a.m. pushing through southwestern Missouri, getting ready to roll into Arkansas. And then as we head toward the morning hours on our Tuesday, we clear out. And again, our Tuesday looks pretty good out there. We're expecting a few clouds here and there, otherwise not a bad day. And then by Wednesday, there's that next boundary triggering off some showers and storms mid-morning and into the early afternoon. And some of these could be strong to severe before they begin to push out of the area. So a lot to keep an eye on, but our big focus is for our alert day today as we track storms heading into the afternoon and evening. Upper 70s today, near 80 tomorrow, low 80s Wednesday, a stray shower Friday. Great looking weekend out there, and then more shower and thunderstorm chances by next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Honoring the women who shaped
.com. That's Spigarelli-law.com.
A driver's shocking close call is being shared as an example of what not to do when passing on the highway. And you have to see it to believe it. Jeremy Rolfe has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at a terrifying caught-on-camera close call that's being used as a highway cautionary tale. Oregon State Police posted to X warning drivers to learn from this shockingly risky pass attempt captured on a Harney County highway. The tense video shows an SUV attempt to pass a truck, and at the last second, the vehicle barely scrapes through as another oncoming semi swerves to avoid a horrific head-on crash. Another close look shows the oncoming truck clip the SUV as it just squeaks by. Thankfully, no one was injured in the shocking near miss, but OSP confirmed the SUV's driver was cited for careless driving, calling them incredibly lucky. Another crazy high-speed highway video, this one focused on what's under the car on camera. This unlucky snake was spotted dangling from the underside of a car speeding down an Alabama interstate. No word on if the driver was aware of their slithery stowaway or what became of the road-tripping reptilian rapscallion, but one thing's for certain, the crazy video left social media viewers in hysterics. Sorry. Finally, this last one wasn't on the road so much as it was in the road. After a pair of Ohio cops spotted a duck oddly standing on a storm grate, they quickly figured out why. 11 ducklings were trapped in the drain below. This unlucky duck had to get down in the muck, handing the trapped babies up to his partner one by one. But in the end, the feathered family was fine thanks to some caring cops who quacked the case. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
First responders have such a crazy job, because one day you could do something, saving someone's life, and then the next day you got to save a little duck from a storm grate. But I think it's all worth it. So, well, we'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Healing.
What's believed to be the world's only 0K bridge run took place in the Florida Keys on Saturday. The run, if you can call it that, was held at the Cow Key Channel Bridge. Its 360-foot span is among the shortest of 42 bridges along the Florida Keys Overseas Highway. The event is perfect for people who like to sleep late and not break a sweat. It attracts up to thousands of fun-loving participants. They wear offbeat costumes with cow themes and even Star Wars themes since it was held on May 4th. Think May the 4th be with you. Awards are given for the categories including first and last place and for the zany costumes. A 100-year-old man who served in 3 wars gets his college diploma. Jack Milton was already a World War II and Korean War veteran in the 1960s when he took college classes offered at the Pentagon. He earned enough credits for a diploma, but before he could get the diploma, he was called to serve again in Vietnam. But last Tuesday, 58 years later, Jack finally received his diploma. The celebration was also for Jack's 100th birthday to honor his generosity to his alma mater, University of Maryland Global Campus. Jack and his wife contributed to the program benefiting active military and veteran students.
All right, and a reminder, we have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible by this afternoon, likely by late evening and overnight. We got that fog to contend with through the morning. It'll be mostly cloudy, a few isolated storms by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, widely scattered to isolated showers and storms will be possible. We're going to be breezy. South winds gusting to 25, highs into the upper 70s. Some of these scattered showers and storms could be on the strong to severe side. We'll keep an eye on those. And then after 8 o'clock into our far western counties and through the overnight, that's when our better chances for more organized strong to severe thunderstorms come in. All hazards are possible, but as we go overnight, wind seems to be the primary concern out there. We'll make 80 tomorrow with morning storms, more storms on Wednesday, not bad Thursday, a few showers Friday, and a pretty decent weekend ahead of us. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more after this.